So where were we? We just survived our 53-hour train ride, and survive is the right word. It was bleak and very basic. We met the only other foreigners, some friends from Nokia in Finland. Yes, it's a place, and we'd made our way to meet the local MP who ended up winning his own local elections even though his party were thrown out of office. We then had to hunt for some local transport, and transport in Africa is very dangerous. We found a car, we could call it, and made our way on to Lusaka, the bus terminal, onto Livingstone. Okay, so here we are at Lusaka bus terminal, just for something different in Africa. It's crazy and chaotic. We've bought our tickets heading down to Livingstone. It's about a 7-hour bus ride. I've decided to go for a luxury bus. I think I deserve it at this point. We're going to have a walk around the terminal, and our bus leaves in another 2 hours because they sell pretty quick. Anyway, let's check it out. So when you don't do a pre-packaged tour and you've got to buy the tickets yourself, these experiences are always wonderful. So I headed out into the terminal amidst the chaos and noise and bought the tickets for our group, and eventually we found the bus we were looking for, and as I say, took 2 hours, and then we finally got on board ready to continue on to Livingstone, or so we thought. Okay, so here we are on board our Zambian bus bound for Livingstone. We're about to pull out of the Lusaka bus station. You'll notice all the Mazunga, the foreigners, are here, and all the local people. And they say segregation has ended. So we headed out, and as I mentioned, you can see everything on the side of the road. I'm one of those here on Jason's Journeys who prefers to take the long distance bus rather than fly places. The reason is you see so much out the window of the real countryside that you just won't see inside a tour bus or inside an aeroplane. But I tell you, it does open your eyes to seeing the real world out there. We saw some abject poverty, people who are having fun and a great time, and everything in between. But as you go along, you know you're going to have your eyes opened, and I sit there like a puppy dog hanging out the window, salivating at the sights and sounds as you keep going on your long distance bus, eventually bound for Livingstone. On a serious note though, travelling in Africa by car is really dangerous. I can't count the number of places that I went to where I saw overturned cars, vehicles on fire, and at least 3 groups that I know of had fatalities or people dying as a result of car crashes. It's a really dangerous place to get around by road, and personally I refuse to go there after dark on a bus or any form of transport that's unnecessary. So as we stopped for lunch, I was grateful for a bit of a rest. So here we are at a stop about halfway, about 60 kilometres out of Lusaka. I've stopped to get a chicken pie and juice. Food options are aplenty. You've got the dried beef jerky, which I gave a miss, right through to hundreds of people banging on the glass window selling you all kinds of fruit and vegetables if you're interested. But based on that, we kept going on our way and eventually got to Livingstone, where we were so grateful to check in. The place we stayed at in Livingstone was called Jolly Boys, and it was beautiful. It was an oasis in the middle of where we were. It had comfortable beds, and we had a nice beautiful meal, taking our time to sit down, have a couple of cold beers and enjoy ourselves, and before we knew it we were falling asleep and ready for the next day, bound for Livingstone and of course Victoria Falls. Okay, so here we are at the entrance to Victoria Falls. We're going to go and check it out. They have baboons and monkeys everywhere that they say try and pickpocket you. We can handle that. It's a beautiful day. Let's check out the falls, shall we? The Victoria Falls, or Mosachunya, meaning the cloud that thunders, is a waterfall located on the Zambezi River between Zimbabwe and Zambia. David Livingstone, the Scottish missionary and explorer, is believed to have been the first European to view the Victoria Falls, which he did from what is now known as Livingstone Island in Zambia, the only land accessible in the middle of the falls, which we'll see after the break. David Livingstone gave the falls the name Victoria Falls in honour of Queen Victoria, but the local name, meaning cloud that thunders, is also very well known. The World Heritage List recognises both names. While it isn't the highest or the widest waterfall in the world, the Victoria Falls is certainly the largest waterfall on Earth. This claim is based on its width of 1.7 kilometres and a height of over 100 metres, forming the largest sheet of falling water anywhere on Earth.
Okay, so you heard me say the Victoria Falls are the largest in the world. Of course, it always depends on how you measure it. These falls are considered number one because the drop they have is the largest in the world. Iguazu actually has a higher output of waterfall, so I guess it all depends on relativity. You're going to judge it on its height, you're going to judge it on its power, you're going to judge it on the volume of water contained. I'll leave it up to you, but whichever way you cut it, it's absolutely spectacular.
The Zambezi Basin experiences a rainy season from November to April and a dry season the rest of the time, including when I was there. The river's annual flood season is February to May and peaking in April. The spray from the falls can rise to a height of over 400 metres and sometimes even twice as high as that, and is visible from 50 kilometres away. At full moon and at many times you see rainbows and what are called moonbows, which can be seen in the spray because of the daylight from the moon glow.
Okay, so here we are in front of Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls, of course, is the number one waterfall on Earth. We've seen previously on the show the Iguazu Falls in Brazil. The third one, of course, is Niagara. Now, this whole area has been declared an international peace park, and I should say that it's made famous the township by Livingston. We all know the expression, Livingston, I presume. Well, let's see how much Livingston got to see of the falls, and we'll see if any of the people here are crazy enough to bungee jump. So as you go along, there are a number of these beautiful walkways that drop off all the way to the base of the falls. Now, you know I'm not great with heights, so we're just looking straight ahead and walking on, Jason. But yeah, so you know you get a great view if you're not scared of heights. But I'm scared of heights.
Victoria Falls is twice the height of Niagara Falls, to give you some idea, and it's comparable only with Iguazu Falls in South America, which of course you've seen in other episodes of Jason's Journeys. Now don't go away, because coming up after the break we walk over the other side of the falls to the Devil Pools and sit on the cliff face, and we also see my friend bungee jump from the tallest bungee anywhere on Earth. You don't want to miss that. I'll see you after the break, everyone. Don't go away.